What's going on, YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists? Welcome to Chill with Pete, the series that you can put on in the background that doesn't involve me hobbying or painting. Basically, it's kind of like bullet points from the On the Benches. But that said, I haven't filmed any On the Bench this week, and the reason for that, as you may probably well know, is because of the Imperial Knight build that's currently going on, and that's going on for patrons, and it's looking awesome. You know, right now it's doing good, but of course, because I've got all the bits and bobs out for building on my bench, I can't have all the paints and other figures to paint as well. It would just be far too chaotic. But anyway, what am I going to talk about? It's day of the week is it? It's Wednesday today, and the reason I struggle with knowing what day of the week it is because my days off change every week. They're different, so don't expect me to remember things like that. It's very, very difficult. That said, it is Wednesday today, and tomorrow I'm going to be here all by my lonesome. So tomorrow, what I was planning on doing was some research and prep for some solo, possibly D&D, either D&D or Forbidden Lands. Do some prep for that. Both need a lot of preparation because my solo Dungeons and Dragons video is getting a lot of traction. It is. It's doing. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link up above. Go and check that out. That was my first venture into solo Dungeons and Dragons. That was back in the days when I was just getting into solo role playing and what was it all about. As you know, and I've talked about this on with my patrons as well, my channel is a plethora of all different things. So I on it you will see wargaming, you will see board gaming, you will see role playing, you will see random other stuff too. Things that are like, it is a collection of my life, basically. So yeah, as I'm accumulating more stuff, and I found some stuff the other day. It was in one of the bottom drawers over there, which I was planning on replacing with better, more modern ones on wheels, like those rainbow ones, like the ones with the deep drawers that I've got. I was thinking of getting that. Came across my up there now drop pod, unbuilt. Yeah. And the box isn't in too bad because I was hoping to find a Dreadnought 2. He's still missing in action, but he's boxed, I know. But I know from memory that box was a bit crumpled if I ever do come across it. That's if I haven't got rid of it. I just, it was so far back in the mists of time, I cannot remember. I just can't remember if that was that long ago. Sorry, but but yeah. So what are we going to talk about today then? Well, like I say, I'm going to be doing some role-playing prep tomorrow, or just reading through role-playing books, which I thoroughly enjoy anyway. I'm thinking I'd like to see that video, the one I pointed out earlier. My solo D&D was from the D&D Essentials box set. You get that lovely, wonderful map, and it's got a fantastic map in it. It really is so super cool. I was thinking of doing that, getting that revisited. I don't know if I've still got the characters from that, so I've got a super cool idea. I'll roll up new characters. Go back. They could be friends of them. They haven't heard from them in a while, so they're going to find. They heard they were travelling to this place, so that's why they're going there. And here we go. So that's something I could do there. I've certainly got a nice lot of random tables, books, oracles, a load of stuff to draw from. I've got a good I've got a good dice tray. I've got well, it's not like the absolute best, but oh, I've got a dice tower, but I don't like the way it's when you put it together. It seems a bit wobbly. Is that the right word? It's supposed to be held in place by magnets, but I don't think the magnets are man enough for it. Could I put new magnets in? I can't be bothered. It would mean taking it to bits because I can't access. Excuse me. I can't access the area to drill out the holes needed to put the magnet in, so that wouldn't work. I think you need a lot more or bigger and stronger magnets than I have. I don't think that's the way. Personally, I think I'm going to just glue it together in place. I've done with it. That's my dice tower. That's it. That's what I think I'm going to do with it. I could possibly do that this afternoon. That's an idea. You've given me an idea. I've given myself an idea. Yeah, so I might do that. That'd be good. Yeah, because that'd be good because I could have like the camera or a camera on the tray at all times. I could do that with a dice with a dice tray anyway. I know that, but it's not so much what role playing game am I going to play. It's how am I going to film it. That's the question. That's the key question here. It's not going to be like Dwarves of Fangorn because that requires far too much energy. It's going to be in the vein of how I did the D&D one. But although that's popular, that's got loads of views. So, and that's real coffee as well. That's strong, caffeinated coffee. I thought I need my energy levels pepping up a bit. Yeah, so get some caffeine in me. The weather here is horrendous. Drizzly, rain, miserable all the time, constantly, and I don't like it. It's getting on my wick, quite frankly. Yeah. Now I know if I start filming, if I do, I probably won't start it tomorrow. Although I don't know whether to. I don't know whether to start a video series of the D&D stuff showing the prep for it. That could be interesting. I mean, I find that sort of thing interesting, right? So maybe someone else might. Who knows? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking anyway. So yeah, because I've got a nice, like I said, I've got a nice lot of books, random tables and things that I could probably just randomly generate names. Who knows? I mean, I don't have to go with it, do I? If I roll up a name for a character and I don't like it, I'll just dismiss it. That's how it goes. And I don't know how to do how I'm going to house roll or house rule playing solo, because it could change as I go through a game or campaign. It might be, if this happens, I will definitely use, say, the mythic oracle, and I might do for more. I don't think the word complex is right. Questions I have, but simple stuff like, is the room occupied? Yes, no. I can use my oracle cards for that. I've now got all of the oracle cards that you can get from Drive-Thru RPG, the Games Master's Apprentice cards. I've just got the Steampunk deck arrived today. Yes, I don't have a steampunk role-playing game yet, but that's not to say I won't have in the future, and that opens up a whole new door for me, which is fantastic. It really is. So I'm going to be looking out for that in the future. Whilst I'm building on my bench, I'm thinking game-wise, I want to look at role-playing, because that doesn't require painting per se. And I've got quite a few miniatures ready painted. And what I think I'll do though is my plan. How could I plan? My plan is to roll up some characters, maybe 3. I think 4 is a bit too many, a bit too convoluted. I think 3. If I've learned anything from Dwarves of Fangorn, it's don't have too many characters. I think 3 characters is enough. 2's good. 1 is difficult. On your own, totally solo. That's why they introduced the sidekick element in the D&D Essentials box set, I think, to have a sidekick. And I've seen a lot of solo gamers have a sidekick sort of element to their role-playing game. So I'm thinking of doing that. That's what I'm thinking of. I need to pick myself up some more really useful boxes because they are fantastic. They are the best thing since sliced bread, I think, really useful boxes. They are my industry standard for boxes. They really are great. I've got one there to fill in with some. I'm going to put some models away from my shelf there. Then I can join it with the box over there. I like their stackability. That is what is probably the most attractive feature for me, and their continuity. They look the way they look, and yeah, I think totally brilliant. I am still thinking about getting another set of rainbow drawers, deeper ones, for in the corner there. But I've got to work out what to do with the old ones. So you get the ones I've bought recently, which was great for it. Got a load of stuff in there. It was great for me. It really was. To have them on wheels as well, that makes it so much more mobile. If I want to move the place around, it's so much easier. It would be good to have shelving on wheels. Really, that would be fantastic. I've got other boxes with bits of terrain in, which I like the deeper ones for. They're great for that. I want to go through all my boxes sometime. Probably repackage them and label them so that I can see on top at a glance what is in them. And they could be like, I could label them like terrain, fantasy terrain 1, fantasy terrain 2, science fiction, sci-fi terrain 1, and so on. Right, and then I can have the smaller ones. I can have fantasy miniatures, characters, evil guys, bad, good guys, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that's another thing I want to do. It's all about organisation at the end of the day. I could do with getting a black bag out here, going through, getting rid of a load of stuff. One thing the move will force me to do, right, is look at what I have. Do I need it really? Yes or no? Probably I don't. So I'm going to get rid of it. If that is the case, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, going to be a bit harsh with certain things. I know in the future, if I do move, I know I keep talking about this. It's not going to happen for a long time, so you're going to get really bored of me talking about it. But by talking about it, it's manifesting it, it's putting it out there into the universe, right? We're going to move at some point. Mini Warzone, as we know it here, is going to expand exponentially. See, there was one place we were looking at back along, which we could move to. It would instantly double the size of Mini Warzone, which is great, absolutely fantastic. It might have other drawbacks. It might do. It's kind of would be in the what you would call the attic area, but it's kind of open plan, so it might not be as soundproof as I say, I've got a great soundproofing here. I know occasionally you get to hear things like, especially if I've got the door open or whatever, you hear airplanes going over. I can hear Revy McRevison revving the motorcycle in the summer, lawns being cut and all that. But if you shut it all up, because it's so well insulated, it is really quite soundproof and it's great, perfect for filming. So everywhere has its ups and downs, and it's all trial and error with things like that, I think. But size-wise, yeah, double the size. I could have a gaming table up permanently on one half, with the rest of the area used to rack shelf all the terrain and stuff. It'd be awesome, And the other half could be split into two, of painting and building, like the bench, and role playing. How awesome would that be? If I lived in my old house, and that's a pipe dream, May Villa, it could be in 2 rooms. Oh, man. And we could then later get the attic done. I'll probably have a 3rd room. Saying, it's and there's a garage there too, which could be converted into a gaming area. Saying, not a place to store your hobby stuff all the time, but you could keep tables and whatnot out there, because I've got tables here, like, and just, all my stuff in front of me is on a table, right, a folding table, but I'm gonna have, they all take up room though, right? If I move, I'm thinking of getting a specialised table built specifically for it. Like Mini Wargaming have, and Guerrilla Miniature Gaming and all that kind of stuff. And loads of people have built their own gaming table for wargaming, and they've done a fantastic job of it. Such an awesome job of it. But it's I feel if I had a go at that, I wouldn't be making a very good job of it, because I know me. I could do basic stuff, but that would be, I'd want a really good job of that. So I would get someone in, a proper carpenter, come and say, look, I want a table this high with a lip around the edge. I want to be able to put I want it to be like 8 foot by 4 foot, so I can put 6 by 4 mats in it if I want to, and then have a little area for, data sheets and whatnot. Or have a 8 by 5 or a 6 by 5. There's some good possibilities out and about. And then I would also look for, because you could probably buy them, a gaming table that I could role play at and do that sort of thing. That'd be good. I've seen some tables on YouTube, digital ones, where the whole table is like a screen, and the DM or GM or whatever, he can just connect it up to his computer, laptop, and he can put all it transform. It could be a dungeon, it could be like a desert world, or it could be a jungle, it could be anything, and you can have sound effects and all sorts of stuff. That's just crazy levels of awesomeness right there. That's way beyond me, but but it'd be just nice to have the dedicated areas from my point of view. The other thing is, if I have all that area, I don't know if it would all be dedicated to the hobby, because I'd have another hobby. If I lived in Seaton, say, my other channel would be dedicated to the history of Seaton and local history. So I'd be delving into that. So I would need an area to film, somewhere I could have a static camera like this. Although I would obviously be going out in the field and filming on location, but to talk about my thoughts on things and the actual points of history, I could do that. I'd like a little shelving area. I could put books of the local history in, because I would start accumulating books and I would do research. There's a lot of history back from the war, from the Second World War, with that as well. And I know a lot of Americans came to stay in part. They stayed in the part of Seaton, and I mean, my mum can recall all these stories, and it's really really awesome. But yeah, now I'm gonna sip of coffee. Wow, the power of caffeine, eh? I can talk for England right now. I was talking to my wife just now. I said, when did I have my interview? So it was only Friday, so it's not even been a week yet. I was like, damn, it feels like a lot longer. It's like, feels like ages ago. Oh, pacing up and down for 2 weeks. At least when you hear one way or the other whether you've got a job, it's over, isn't it? The stress of have I got a job or not? This promotion, has it gone through? Yes or no? At least that's over in a way, and that's good, you know. So yeah, so it's been great. I've been able to start accumulating a few things that I need for my hobbies. I mean, those Game Master's Apprentice decks of cards that you can get from DriveThru RPG, they are so good, and I'm going to be doing more videos on the DM, the solo RPG tool stuff, because they deserve greater recognition. I feel they deserve greater recognition. I feel they're such a rich enhancement to your solo toolbox. I think the world needs to know about them, basically, or at least the world of role players, because they don't need to be specifically for solo. They would enhance any game. A bunch of guys around a table playing a role playing game. It's just great little handy things for the DM or GM to just, we need a wandering monster. Is there one? Yes, no, yeah. Oh, and there's a load of other things. So what did players asking you awkward questions like, so what do I hear here? Does it smell of anything? And it's like, I don't know. Yes, you smell burning fire. Things like that, or you smell the smell of rotten flesh. Just put it out there and then let the players make of it what they will. And so, yeah, but for solo, they are sublime, absolutely sublime. And I love the sci-fi one because I'm going to be playing Aliens and Those Dark Places, and yeah, those are probably the two main sci-fi games I want to do. Although, I am looking at this. Just bear with me a sec. Wrath and Glory, yeah? Because Warhammer 40,000 in role-playing format. Yes! Cubicle 7. I haven't heard an awful lot about the game. I've had a couple of comments. People think it's all right. That's probably good enough for me. I shall probably be getting into that sometime. Yeah. Probably will. Because, and I shall probably use my next YouTube payment to get it, because it's going to go straight back into the channel. If I get that game, if I do, that's going to be played on the channel for sure. For sure. 40k RPG? Yeah. That combines two of my hobbies right there. RPGs and Warhammer. Boom. Done. But there's so many things I want to do. Like, I'm working on... I've got all this in front of me and I'll tell you why in a minute. Working on the tutorial for these guys. These Imperial Fists I'm doing. And that's going to be for patrons. Well, check out my Patreon account if you want to check out these exclusive videos that I talk about. See, what you do You go on to my Patreon, click on the link on my home screen. It'll take you to my Patreon site, and you can there look at the different tiers you have, and then right from the first one, you can then, each video that goes up, well, depending on what tier you subscribe to, it'll give you access, yes or no. You can then watch them, and that's awesome. Tier 1 is just $1 a month, and that's things like behind the scenes and, you know, other random stuff like that. So that's a little bit of fun. Tier 2, which is just $2 or $2.50, I think it's $2, I can't remember now. But that gives you access to painting with patrons as well as other stuff. And then just look at the other things you get. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it, because I try to put in my hardest work on my Patreon videos. I really put a lot of time into it, which isn't easy for me. And a lot of the time I have to sit up quite late of an evening editing these videos, which I find very draining, but I enjoy it. So that's the reason. So I get something out of it. And the feedback I get is good as well. That's what keeps me going, basically. Support from you guys is what keeps me going. Patreon is a great support. It's a huge lift, and sometimes we need that. Blimey, we're nearly at half an hour. I'm going to finish my last couple of sips of coffee. Wow. That reminds me of the old days. Drinking coffee on Chill with Pete. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that out there? The old days when I used to do them when I was too poorly to actually pick up a paintbrush and hold a model steady. Do you remember that? And they were great days. Not being poorly, obviously, but the embryonic stages of my channel. I go back occasionally. I look at the old videos and I think, oh, I cringe. I do wonder, do I keep them? Sometimes some of the old stuff I'm not too sure about, but some I might refilm. Eventually I'm going to refilm a lot of the stuff and try and bring it more up to date with my current filming continuity methods, and that's what I'm going to do. So moving forwards, my first day off, the hobby section is nearly over. Be back to household stuff in a moment. Loads of work to do there always, but I'm sure you know that as well. And I've got another day tomorrow. Like I say, I'll be on my own tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it because I don't get to spend a day on my own very often. There's always other stuff to do, and when it's just me, I can be in charge of my own destiny, so to speak. So if stuff needs doing, I can decide whether to get it over with or do it later, as long as it gets done right. And I can film and I can read at my leisure. I can make characters for games. I can roll up new characters. I can do all sorts of stuff. I can film, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Anyway, guys, I've taken up enough of your time. Sorry this has been such a long one. You can use it as like a painting snippets if you want, because painting snippets and On the Bench with Pete are at a standstill right now because I'm building the Imperial Knight for the Patreon guys. Yeah, so I'm just wondering where my box of dice is at the minute. I'll look for that in a moment. Yeah, so I'm just doing that. So whilst I'm doing that, I'm not doing any painting, which is sad because I like to paint. But I'm getting there with the Imperial Knight. It's nearly halfway built. And that's just after 2 sessions. So crack on with that, and all will be well. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. If you've made it this far, well, my hat is off to you. My hat is off to you, literally. And give it a thumbs up if you like it, or a thumbs down if you hate it. Fine by me, whatever. Share it if you can. That's a big help. share it on the social media platforms, because I'm only on Twitter and Instagram, and I don't use Instagram all that much because, and I'll hold my hand up and be honest, I'm not very good at navigating Instagram. I don't find it very user friendly, whereas Twitter's just easy. And I don't like Facebook, so I'm not on there. Anyway, see you on the next one, guys. Remember, all brushes lead to war. Bye for now.